Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Business Idea Insight YouTube channel. So in this week's video, I'm going to be going over ways you can find time so you can work on your side business. Working on your side business and finding time to actually do that can be one of the most hardest things. You may have other commitments like working your 9-to-5 job. You may even have kids or other responsibilities that you need to take care of during the day. You may want to exercise and still actually have some relationships with your friends. So it's important you find the time to still work on your side business, and it can be hard. So in this video, I'm going to give you 10 tips on how you can find time for your side business. And so I don't want to waste any of your time here, so let's jump right into the tips. So the first tip for finding time is to work on your side business before you go to your actual 9-to-5 job. Now this can be a bit difficult, but it can be a really rewarding way and a productive way to start your mornings. If you plan to get up an hour before you usually get up, before you get ready for work, you can spend this time on finishing a couple of tasks that only take you 20 to 30 minutes. And the best way to do this is to make sure you set up the couple tasks you want to do the night before. If you have all the documents, the internet tabs open on your computer, and the notepads and notes you need to get started when you get up in the morning, this will really help you get into the flow of things, and you won't have to think about what do you need to do to get started in the morning and what kind of tasks you want to accomplish. You'll have in mind the couple tasks you need to do in the 20 to 30 minutes or hour you have, and you'll be able to accomplish that because you already have the materials and information you need to move forward. The second tip for finding time for your side business is working on it after your day job, after your 9-to-5. So when you come home and after you've prepared dinner and gotten ready for the evening, it's time to sit down and work on your side business. Now this can sometimes be hard as it's easy to fill up your evening with other commitments, maybe with friends or family, or maybe even just sitting on the couch and watching Netflix. We've all been there and it can be easy to do. So what I recommend is that you fill in your calendar on either your phone, your computer, or maybe even a physical calendar where you block off that time for you so you can work on that side business. That way, if you have any other plans come up that may interfere, you can quickly check your calendar and be reminded that that important block of time is for you and working on your side business so you can get ahead. The third tip is working on your side business during your commute to work. Now, if you have a long commute to work and if you're on a train or a bus, this can be a really efficient way to get some of the small tasks done that don't really involve a computer or something where you need to sit down and type. So for instance, if there's a couple emails you can send off, or maybe you're in the business development stage and you're just starting to think of the idea. So maybe you can search online in the news for problems that you could potentially solve. Maybe that's making a list of the value you can bring to the market, like your skills and your passions, so you know what idea you want to narrow down. And when you get further on, you can begin answering the emails you get from your audience, you can begin emailing clients, or maybe even doing a couple phone calls on your commute to work. This can be a great way to get started. If you're driving, I'd recommend finding a podcast or even downloading some of these YouTube videos if you have YouTube Premium and listen to them on your way to work. It's a great way to educate yourself and a great way to keep busy and not keep bored while you're commuting to your 9-to-5. The fourth tip I have for you today is to scale back your social media use. Now I know it can be useful to go on channels like YouTube and watch educational videos, but there comes a time when you're using, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, maybe even Reddit way too much. And I even found myself in this own problem when I was starting my own side business and trying to find the time myself. I was wondering where's all my time going in my day? I mean, I might have a dentist appointment, I may have to work, I might have a commute, but there's still a few hours in there where I had some free time. Where was it all going? So I downloaded a social media tracker app, and I've included some in the link in the bio whether you have Android or iPhone. But I found out for my own self that I was spending hours on Instagram. It was an addicting app for me, and so it was a real eye-opener to see that I could actually free up a lot of time in my evening and morning simply by just closing down the app and maybe even limiting to myself to 5 to 10 minutes when I get that urge. So I recommend you check out your social media use and see how you can scale it back. I guarantee there's a lot of time you could find for you could actually working on your side business. Maybe if you have your side business already started, you could be posting on those social media channels instead of actually using it to consume the content. Or maybe you're going to find some inspiration of some potential side businesses that you could start yourself instead of always just looking at dumb dog and cat videos. Also, not to mention, when you pick up your phone and you stop the task you're doing, whether that's thinking of your idea or actually working on your side business, you enter a distraction into your life and that disrupts your workflow. And when you disrupt your workflow, you're not able to work as efficiently as you can, which is extremely important when starting a side business. I mean, every minute matters, especially if you're working a 9 to 5 and you have other responsibilities, or if you still want to be able to go to the gym, etc. So it's very important that you sort of limit your phone use and your social media use. I guarantee it's going to help you with your productivity. The fifth tip here, and not usually a very popular one, is to go out less. Now, this is sometimes a reality when you're starting your side business, is that you'll need to sort of scale back the amount of events you go out to if you're a person that goes out to a lot of events. You know, for instance, when you're getting your first clients or you're validating your first offer, you may need to work on those weekends in the evening if you didn't have time during the week or during the day on your weekends. And this is important because if you don't commit that time, you could end up not working with the clients, not getting the results they need, and your side business may fail. Similarly, if you're still thinking of the idea itself, if you're not putting in that time and that effort to actually think of an idea you can launch, you're never going to be able to actually start that business and start seeing that second income come in. So it's important you sort of look at your schedule and make sure you fit in time for your side business. I'm not saying you need to cancel all the fun events and social events, but if you're the kind of person that goes out every weekend, maybe Friday, Saturday, and maybe even Sunday, you may want to look at scaling that back a bit so you have some time for your side business. The sixth tip, and one of my favorites, is setting up a study and work hangout group with your friends. Now, you may not want to sacrifice your friendship and relationships, and you don't have to when you're starting a side business. If you have other friends that are passionate about starting a side business themselves, or they have other passions and hobbies that they're working on as well, you guys could set up a study and work group where you guys come and meet together and you each can work on your businesses and have a little chatter here and there while still being productive and still being able to enjoy each other's company. This can be a great thing to do if you yourself are starting a side business and you have friends that are in university or college or maybe even high school. You can get together and they can work on their homework and you can work on building your side business and you can be productive together and still enjoy each other's company. The seventh tip, and an often overlooked way at finding time for your side business, is to actually take time off your 9 to 5 job. Now, if you get some holidays and you can use a couple here and there for your side business, I'd highly recommend this. It may allow you to have a long weekend here and there, or it may allow you to have that extra day where you can finally just sit down and have the day to think of that business idea, or finally sit down and write out that business plan or decide on that business model for moving forward. Taking some time off, and I'm not saying you need to use all your holidays, maybe this is only 1 day or maybe 2 days a year, but maybe take some time and really spend that day on yourself and on your side business so you can really move forward with it. If you have that whole day, you'll have no excuses for, I don't have time anymore. You've really committed, and a whole, even a 5-hour session working on your side business can yield you some great results if you're focused. So you can look into taking some time off your day job. And number 8 here, and one tip I might even expand upon more if you guys are into this, is finding time in the fringe moments. So fringe moments is that time in your day-to-day life where you may have 5 to 20 minutes and you're just waiting around. Maybe that's waiting in the grocery line, maybe that's standing there waiting for the bus, you're waiting for your friend outside the mall for 10 minutes before they show up. It's these small moments in life where you can actually get a lot done if you have the right priorities and tasks written down beforehand so you can focus on these things in those small amounts of time. So for instance, when you're waiting for your friend to arrive and meet you at the mall so you guys can go for coffee, maybe that's when you are writing down your passions so you discover what industry you want to start your side business in. Or maybe you're answering a couple emails, following up with some clients to see if they are interested in your offer, and so you can validate that. So you can see how finding time in the fringe moments can be really important, especially if you're pressed for time during working your 9 to 5 and having your other responsibilities. And using that time wisely can really help you. And tip number 9 is using your lunch breaks from your 9 to 5 job, only if you're allowed. So I wanted to make that disclaimer, but only if you're allowed, because sometimes your employer will only want you to be thinking about their company and the work you're doing there. They may feel uncomfortable if you are bringing your laptop to work and spending your lunch break working. They also may think that if you're working too much, you may not be able to put the maximum amount of effort you can into your 9-to-5 job. So it's important you have that either discussion with your employer, or if you already know you have that sort of relationship, then you can work on your side business during your lunch. Otherwise, you can find time in the other tips I've mentioned here. So the 10th tip I have for you guys today is using your weekends efficiently. If you don't have any other responsibilities outside your 9-to-5 job, using your weekend to work on your side business can yield you amazing results in the long run. Now, it's not always having to spend your whole weekend on the side business, but as long as you're consistent, if you show up every weekend, whether that's only for an hour or the 5 to 8 hours you can put in per day, if you show up every weekend, I guarantee you're gonna see some results down the road. And you're gonna be really proud of it too. So I wanna make sure you guys understand how to use your weekend efficiently. So to do that, I want to make sure if you have plans to, go to the gym, work out, visit family and friends, you block that off in your calendar. And then you block off times in your calendar when you want to work on your side business. And you can be really specific, a couple hours working on maybe thinking of the business idea. And once you've done that, you can spend some time actually narrowing down that list of ideas you have, etc. So if you're specific with how you block off your time, you can also use it really effective as well, because you're not going to be sitting there thinking, what kind of things should I be working on this weekend? You'll already have that sort of planned out, and you'll already have the time blocked off for your other priorities as well, so you don't have to worry about sacrificing your entire life just for the side business. And finding time for your side business isn't always about complete sacrifice of removing everything else from your life. If you combine all these tips here I've mentioned today, you can really find a lot of time to get started on that side business, make sure you launch your idea, and have that time for continued momentum and growth to create that second income that you deserve. And so you guys can check out some of the other videos here, or check out the other side business resources in the link in the bio at businessideainsight.com.